Hey, everybody, coming at you for a quick announcement. We wanted to share some good news that hopefully you've seen already around, but we have a Dune TV show coming out.
Well, not us, but there is a Dune TV show coming out.
The royal we. Yes, Dune Prophecy is getting closer. The release date is set for sometime in November, and we are encroaching upon that date. So we are excited to announce that we are going to be extending our coverage to that TV show.
Yep. We're not going to be doing it like our regular podcast where we're going minute by minute because we want to maintain some degree of sanity throughout all of this. But we will be doing an episode of the Dune Minute podcast or special episodes of the Dune Minute podcast in conjunction with the episodes coming out each week.
Yep.
We don't quite know yet what day we're going to be releasing those podcasts, but we will be blasting our socials and everything with more information as they're coming out. So keep an eye on your feeds because coming up, you might be getting 2 episodes on one day a week.
That's right. Just what the people want. More
Dune.
All right, cool. We'll see y'all later.
Yep. See ya. Hello and welcome to the Dune Minute Podcast, your place to dive deep minute by minute into the cinematic adaptation of Frank Herbert's World of Dune. I'm one of your hosts, John.
And I am Zach.
And we are back. It's Thursday. And yesterday we ended the episode with doing some Scooby-Doo running through some hallways.
And rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Duncan, Idaho.
Number one.
Yeah. We'll be back with thousands more later. So yesterday we ended talking a little bit about some of the differences between books and the movies for the tunnel escape scene and how it was effectively the same thing in terms of getting out of the room, but under the movie there's a little more of a time crunch, a little more duress than there was in the book.
There's pressure to it.
Sure. We ended yesterday with Dr. Kynes giving a Frem kit and still suit to both Jessica and Paul and telling them to follow the light. She continues today saying, and she says this specifically, you'll find a thopter ready to fly. The storm out there is your best shot. Above 5,000 meters, it's mostly dust.
5,000
meters. That's a tall ass storm.
Oh God.
So we talked a little bit about Coriolis storms before and how their wind speed is last week. I think we talked about it. Their wind speed versus like what our equivalent to tornado rating systems are, and how their wind speed is double.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? An N5 tornado is it N for the rankings system? F5, yes.
Yeah.
F5 tornado is only like 200 miles an hour, whereas these Coriolis storms are 400 mile an hour winds.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, just go through 5,000 meters of this storm, and then up there it's just mostly dust. Like, holy shit!
That is 16,404 feet.
You still can't fucking take off your seatbelt because you're not at 30,000 feet and walk about the cabin. So
I was just about to say, like, that's like, half of what airliners fly at in cruise altitude. That is significantly higher than most like general aviation planes would fly at, but like your high end general aviation or
don't like regular. I mean,
I'm learning about this stuff, but
you're learning a lot of this stuff, but don't you like normally fly like a little single prop Cessna at only like 5,000 feet or something like that?
Like 5 to 8, something like that.
So
your higher end stuff, like if you have a pressurized cabin, you can get up to those above 10,000 feet kind of thing. But even
it's still a tall ass storm. Like, God damn.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And we saw it briefly in episode 106, where we saw the storm, where it was just like dwarfing the massive dunes on Arrakis. Because we had that one shot of like the sunrise and everything.
Yep.
And now the little dunes just looked like
nothing.
Tiny little hills.
Yeah, nothing.
So
yeah, that's a big old storm for sure. Kynes finishes with climb into it, stay on top, head south, you'll find the Fremen.
Yeah. Jesus. Huge storm.
Yeah. Jessica responds with, you're not coming with us?
Are you not coming with us?
Are you not coming with us? And Kynes says something that I have often said to people in relation to vehicles. It only seats 2.
Oh, damn. Oh, no.
This is a strategy of mine.
My Subaru Outback only seats 2 people.
No, I'm talking about the Jeep. If I'm ever going somewhere where there's a possibility of me having to drive people, I will drive the Jeep.
I will take the Jeep.
And be like, I'm cool with driving, but I only got seats for 1. Sorry.
Having ridden in the back of that Jeep, it's not comfortable.
I don't have the back seats in. I hardly ever keep the back seats in.
I've ridden in the back of that Jeep where the back seats were not in. Because there was one time where you and I were out at dinner with some friends.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was a much shorter drive home than the other person that we were with. So the consensus was get in the back, bitch.
That's so funny. It only seats 2. It's often my defense for driving places.
Fair.
So Kynes explains that she'll hop over to the next station
and report the attack to the Lance Red. Yeah. This is the moment where she's like, all right, now I guess I should probably say something.
Yeah, which, I mean, better late than never, I guess.
Sure, A for effort.
Yeah. So Jessica asks how. And she says, or Kynes responds with, I'm a Fremen. The desert's my home. So a couple things on this exchange.
I'm Fremen. The desert's my home. Good luck.
Oh, good luck. Yeah. So finally, we get a straight answer.
Yep.
To the is Liet Kynes Fremen question.
My notes here say movie Kynes is finally revealed for who she really is.
Yeah.
We talked about this when we met Dr. Kynes. When we were doing our book versus movie comparison, and how, we knew, and the rest of our listeners knew that Kynes was Fremen early on and everything. But this is the moment where we finally get the hard confirmation in the movie. Yeah, by the way, like my eyes aren't just this way because I do a lot of work here. I do a lot of work here because I was born here.
Yeah, I mean, gone are kind of the political answers of, I'm accepted in both Siege and Village, and all the riding the fence that Kynes has done up until this point. It's like, nope, I am Fremen.
She's no longer Switzerland.
Yeah. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, I mean, this is going to be a real brief thing, but with the way that Kynes is talking and what she's just said, it kind of left a small amount of interpretation to Jessica's how question.
Yeah.
So it's,
I'm glad you caught on that too.
Yeah. And again, watching the movie, it's very clear, just like watching it all in one go, it's very clear what the how is supposed to mean. Mm-hmm. But when we break it down to just this minute and just this exchange, like it could go a couple different ways.
Yep.
So what Kynes has said is she will go to the next station and report this attack to the Landsraad. So when Jessica says how, to me, that's like, okay, how are you getting to the next station? Or how will you report this attack? What methods are you going to use to actually report this, or, whatever. So
carrier pigeon, duh.
Like
smoke signal. Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't know if she was talking about like, how is she going to get to this next station, or like,
I interpreted it as, how are you going to survive the desert? How are you going to get there?
Which is the way the movie intends you to interpret that. Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's an interesting question if Jessica is like, okay, cool. Yeah, I know you're going to get there, but like, what are you going to say?
Yeah.
Like if her mind is still on the political side of this, which is much more of a book feeling. Like they're very focused on the political aspects of all this.
But in the movie, they do lean very heavily into Kynes's, political, dialogue and, kind of neutrality. So then with her saying, I'm Fremen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Yeah, with the answer of I'm Fremen, the desert's my home, that clearly is the answer to the first interpretation of how are you going to get to the next station? I can do this. I'm from the desert, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just
It kind of is an answer to the second too.
Is it though?
Yeah.
How?
I'm Fremen. The desert's my home.
Okay.
No, so like you're asking, you're talking about like, how is she going to report it? Is she going to be political about it? But then like if Kynes' response is I'm Fremen, the desert is my home, then with her saying that, the way that she would convey what has happened over the last, 24, 48 hours or whatever would be from the perspective of a Fremen, from the perspective of someone's home being attacked, not only by the Harkonnen, but by the Sardaukar.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. I didn't think about that. That's a good read. I just wanted to bring that up a little bit just because I thought it was like, it was a cool, or is an interesting, like this could go both ways kind of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Speaking of going both ways.
Yeah, right. There we go. Nice.
Hey, we see Paul and Jessica, after Kynes says, I'm Fremen, the desert, it's my home, good luck. Paul and Jessica take their fork left.
Mm-hmm.
Kynes takes her fork right. We see a really cool shot looking up from the bottom of like a really small like canyon or cavern, like up to the sky. And we get a shot from behind Kynes as she's leaving this, crevice in the rocks. I wanted to use, I thought about using this for the thumbnail, but it doesn't quite work out too well.
Gotcha.
For a thumbnail, because it's weird where it's like black, a little slit of, light and what you can see, and then black again. It doesn't work out. But anyways, we see Kynes make it out to the desert, and at this point there's no more dialogue left in this movie. She's out of the in this minute, sorry. No more dialogue left in this minute, but we see her out in the desert. We see her see worm sign.
Yeah.
She begins to make her way towards the worm sign, which is very uncharacteristic to how we had seen worm sign before.
Yeah, you generally avoid those.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't see much more of Kynes for this week, but we're not done with Kynes. We'll definitely have a lot more to say about her next week. But we leave off with her heading towards worm sign, cut to, a black scene, and we see Paul and Jessica kind of making their way up a ramp to this large open cavern.
Yeah.
And we see the Thopter, and our minute ends as they're kind of coming eye level to this Thopter and everything.
Yeah. And this Ornithopter is a different design. This is our third design. I
have some notes from Art and Soul of Dune, but I'm going to save them for tomorrow because frankly, tomorrow's episode doesn't have a lot of substance.
Well, it's pretty much only the Ornithopter, but we'll get to that.
It is only the Ornithopter, but it is more specific to tomorrow's episode because we actually get to see a lot more detail in the Ornithopter for tomorrow. So,
okay, cool. Well, can we hit you with some book notes?
I'm going to go ahead and guess. This is kind of how it is, where they just say, all right, I got to go. Good luck.
Mostly. Yeah. Yes. As this movie has done up until this point, it has been mostly accurate to the books.
Okay.
So they do in fact split up. They do find the secreted away Ornithopter.
Yep.
Kynes in the books mentions nothing about reporting this attack to the Landsrad. Landsrad, excuse me.
Yeah. You've said Landsrad and I've let it go, but
I keep saying it like the Lynch film. Sorry, I told you about this. Doesn't mention any of that. All that we get from Kynes in the book is fly into the storm and the Fremen will find you, and they will see each other again in like an unspecified time or unspecified location.
Yeah.
He goes so far to say in the books that if he's captured, he'll just say, he's still the Imperial planetologist.
Yep.
And he could just say that they were he was a captive of theirs.
He is still judge of the change.
Yeah. So he can just say that, if I won't be in any kind of trouble at this point, because I don't know where you're going. I'm not in charge of that whole thing. I can say that, I was a captive of yours, and that will protect me from any kind of punishment from the Harkonnens. Wouldn't protect him from a full bona fide truthsayer, but it would at least, give him an alibi.
Yeah. But that the Emperor would put him in front of a truthsayer.
Oh, sure. Jessica makes a remark later on this, that Kynes did exactly what any guerrilla warfare leader would have done. He left it ambiguous to where he does not know.
Yep.
So he is not, responsible, or that information cannot be tortured out of him or anything like that. So it was a smart move on Kynes' part to say, here's your means of escape, but as far as the details go, I don't know. We'll just see each other later.
I think Kynes also does that just because Kynes also knows what the Emperor's MO would be as far as putting a truthsayer in front of him if anything were to happen. Just like how the Harkonnen soldiers were like, we'll drop him off the desert so we can't say that we actually killed him. So that's an interesting theme that we've kind of seen emerge from the books. I didn't technically do this.
Well, there's that weight of the truth saying that is kind of over every decision that people make. So it makes you have to obfuscate your actions by a couple of layers.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And that just complicates, plans all that much more. Unless you're the bottom layer goon, then you're just doing the shit. But
you're just fucking gooning around, dude.
Yeah. Gooners are expendable, apparently.
So many gooners.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's all the book notes that I had for this week, for this episode, excuse me. So what do you say we round out the week by watching Paul start an engine?
Yeah. We'll do that tomorrow.
All right, cool.
As always, you can find us online. We are on Instagram at The Dune Minute. We are on Twitter at Dune Minute. And you can email duneminute@gmail.com if you'd like to get in touch. You can rate, comment, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, and feel free to share the show with your friends or any other podcast platform. Looking at our statistics for this, though, Apple Podcasts is 45% of all of our listening volume.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're gonna shout out the most popular platform that we're on. So
I think they're also the only one that does the rating system. I know you don't rate on Spotify. And everything else kind of funnels into Apple.
Yeah.
So if you're already listening to us on the Apple ecosystem, smash that like button, hit subscribe.
Oh, God. Please never do that again.
All right, cool. We will be back tomorrow to round out this week.
All right. See you later.
See ya.